Hey, this is Load Bearing Beams podcast where we talk about movies, we chill, we relax, we have a good time. Have a good time with us, won't you?
Oh, God.
With me, Matt Stokes.
Lacey Roth.
That's our names.
Don't wear them out.
We're a married couple, and we watch movies together. We're busy people who have to be very careful and deliberate when we plan to watch movies. What? So you don't want to bring to the table some piece of shit, you know what I'm saying?
God, do I.
And you don't want to be like, hey, you know what I think we should watch tonight?
A piece of shit sandwich.
But you don't know it's a piece of shit sandwich. You're just like, you know what movie I loved?
I would never.
When I was younger.
But yes,
yeah. Well, yeah, because we do the podcast now.
Right.
But before that, you wouldn't have done that.
Okay, so I've done that a couple of times with Hocus Pocus and...
was it Hocus Pocus or The Witches?
No.
Okay, Hocus Pocus.
Yeah. And Fifth Element.
Uh-huh.
I was so sure you would be charmed. They're just dynamite pictures. And then they were, lo and behold, hard to get through.
So many people love the Fifth Element. I wonder if I just missed something.
I feel like I did too. I feel like they were they were doing something at a time and place, and then they just figured out how to do it better. But I mean, there's really nothing. No role I don't like. What's his fucking Bruce Willis? There we go. I've got a thing for that guy. So
Disney's The Kid.
Never
like that movie?
I didn't see. That's exactly
like
the kind
Reds?
of reference that I like. What?
Reds.
What are you saying
I'm just naming
to me?
Bruce Willis movies. I don't
What's
know.
Reds?
It's a movie. It's like one of those old people movies.
No?
Like Bruce Willis and a bunch of old people.
Oh,
They're like,
it's called Reds.
Reds, yeah, and then I think there's Reds 2.
All right.
Co-starring Morgan Freeman, sexual predator Morgan Freeman.
You're sure it's Reds?
Yeah.
Okay.
Positive.
All right.
So this is our podcast about Reds, and
other movies we might just blurt out in a quoting frenzy, and when our loved one looks at us with that unknowing look, we realize, holy shit, have you not seen Heavyweights? How? Or whatever, fill in the blank movie.
You don't know Goonies?
Okay.
So, let's watch the Goonies now as adults and appreciate it.
Right,
and then what happens? What happens?
I've made a really big deal about how it's crazy you haven't seen this movie. Therefore, I must think it's amazing.
You've never seen
Touchstone.
Beetlejuice?
Exactly. So we show it to each other. We hope it holds up, withstood the test of time. It's been many years since the person vouching for it has seen it, and obviously we're showing it to a newbie on the other end. And
Yep.
well, this is a podcast where we discuss the results of such things.
It's been 2 weeks since we recorded a new episode, and we're sorry about that. We've re-recorded an episode because we did record an episode 2 weeks ago where we talked about today's movies, Little Nicky and Slums of Beverly Hills.
And I lost my half of the fucking audio file, and I'm not proud of it. I'm not glad that I'm the woman in this scenario and that I did that. It feels like it should have happened to you.
You make more money than me.
There we go. Boom.
So it's fine.
So I lost my half of the file. We record on two separate devices, and them's are the breaks.
Yeah.
And anyway, so
but a consequence of that is that it's been a minute since we actually saw these movies.
Yeah,
Little Nicky is just evaporated from my brain. It's not there anymore. I don't remember a goddamn thing about it.
Little nothing.
We'll try to talk about it though.
We're gonna give it a shot.
So that's what we usually do is we each pick a movie, we watch it together, we discuss it, we reveal to each other our feelings on the podcast. Next week we're going to be doing a listener's choice featuring a very special guest, my brother Elliot Stokes, and what we are doing is Lacey, Elliot, and I are watching all 3 Godfather movies. All 3 of them. Lacey's seen one of them. She didn't remember it though.
No.
It was always sort of like
the first time.
If you would to me say, I can't believe you've never seen Breakfast Club.
Right.
I'd be like,
yeah.
You never saw The Godfather?
Right.
It was always my go-to.
This was his comeback.
Yeah, which is a good comeback.
Sure. If you're you.
What happens when you see The Godfather for the first time as an adult? After hearing so much of the hype.
Sure, and having inadvertently seen it through the lens of 100 other imitators.
Yeah, or parodies.
Right.
How does The Godfather 2 hold up when it's supposed to be the ultimate example of a great sequel, and then part 3, which I haven't seen since I was a teenager, which is regarded as a piece of crap.
Shit show.
As a shit show.
Okay.
I just realized that I promised last week we would do a video about Solo after we saw Solo, but we didn't do that.
Didn't do that. I would have never realized had you not realized.
Yeah, because But do you want to? We saw Solo. Do you want to discuss it? I mean, the genesis of this podcast was kind of a discussion about Star Wars because Lacey did not grow up with Star Wars.
Right. So we've made it a point to make sure we watch all of the Star Wars paraphernalia that comes out now as fast as possible and then report on it.
We have in you a very interesting litmus test because you don't have the nostalgia for Star Wars growing up with it. So when you watch the original trilogy, you don't like them. But the new movies that come out, you like a lot.
So far, yes, especially 2 of them.
Yeah. What about Solo?
It's fine.
It's
fine. It's the
This was definitely the ultimate shrug of a movie. I was interested to see if it would be a disaster because of everything. I was following very closely the production process and how chaotic it was, and they fired the directors with 3 weeks left of shooting, and it wasn't disastrous. It's just like a fine movie, and it's pretty fun.
It's Foo Fighters-esque.
It's the Foo Fighters of movies. That's right.
Yeah.
You know what? We were talking about Foo Fighters, and I had a scary thought. Is liking the Foo Fighters like saying that your favorite band is Imagine Dragons?
Oh God, I fucking hope not. Then we're gonna need a mediation.
Okay.
To work out our differences.
Just kind of like. I don't
think you're allowed to have that be your favorite band. It's a weird one to pick.
That's what I'm saying. But
there's no way to get passionate about.
But is that the kind of band that like the song comes on is like this is a perfectly pleasant song to be on? Kind of almost like stock music.
Maybe because you're such a background noise person where you never don't have something on your headphones and you never don't have your headphones on. So maybe Foo Fighters is just it's your go-to because it can be tuned out.
It's not a go-to though. And I don't
even know what we're talking about anymore then.
I don't go to it to not listen to it. I go to it to be
jam?
like, yeah.
Okay. Let's keep going.
This is it.
All right.
Okay. I just had one more thing before we get into the meat of the episode.
All right.
More and more people are having their consciousness raised to the tyranny of phone calls. Right? Like John Oliver made a joke recently about how like you'll do anything to get off the fucking phone. Like more and more people are not answering phone calls. You'll get letters like from bill collectors or whatever saying, "We have tried to contact you and been unsuccessful." And I think like, yeah, because you keep calling me.
Right, gross.
And I'm not going to answer my phone if I don't have the number.
Ew.
But okay, so it's not just people aren't answering numbers they don't know, but like everybody seems to be annoyed whenever they have to talk on the phone now.
Right.
When did this change? Has this always been so? Or is it just like everybody's just so used to communication that's like much easier?
I used to get excited about phone calls. Because it was the only way the outside world contacted you when they weren't inside your house. Like a house phone ringing, I used to love. Yeah. Remember that. Then when I first got a beeper, fuck yeah, did I want to get beeped. Beep me all night long. Loved it. Yeah. Then I got my first Nokia or whatever. That's what it's called. And that was a exciting moment. Every phone call. Text messaging was just like this thing I flirted with for a while. I had one of those, was it a Curie type, the full, what was it, a Sidekick? Had the full type, the keyboard, it slid. It was a phone. And so like that's
before a BlackBerry?
Right before, okay. Yeah. And then the BlackBerry, so it got easier and easier to text. So at some point, I feel like the transition took forever, but yeah, now that texting is so fluid, it seems needless.
But texting has been fluid and a part of life for many, many years now. But I feel like it's only in the past few years
like 6 for me.
At least since I've known you, which is 7 or 8 years.
Yeah. All right.
But like, I feel like it's only in the past 2 or 3 years that people have totally turned on phone calls. That nobody answers their phone anymore. That it seems like an ordeal to have to make a phone call or have to answer a phone call.
I've always been this way at work, though. I've never wanted my phone to ring at work, and that's been all the years I've ever had a job. If my
You're talking about a work phone call?
Yes, just a phone. Well, no, a phone call while I'm working.
Oh yeah,
I fucking hate it. I mean, specifically sitting in an office for 13 years, well, not an office, but cubicle, then office. Anytime that desk phone rang, anxiety. It only feels like
Sure.
you're getting called in to.
Yeah. Although answering a desk phone seems less traumatic for me than answering a cell phone
Does
call.
seem
Because I feel like
easier to-
cell phone call quality is going down.
Right.
And I might be totally wrong about that. But I feel like I'm hearing phone calls more and more poorly. That every single person I talk to is like, hold on, let me take you off,
You know
whatever.
what? It's not it's not cell phone quality. It's too many people feeling like they need to have Bluetooth availability. So if no one's purchasing like a quality Bluetooth headset, everyone's answering in their car. Everyone's answering with their shit knockoff AirPod Bud.
Yeah.
Doobies.
I've never answered a call from my mom where she didn't talk and then say, hold on, let me take you off. It's never
Why did
worked.
you put me on? Right.
Yeah, it's never worked. I don't know. Like when you had a house phone or a desk phone and other people saw you on the phone, like it just seemed like a reasonable thing to like, hey, I'm going to stop and focus on this phone call. But now when you talk on your phone, on your cell phone, you feel like you feel like the rude one. The world doesn't seem to give it the attention and respect.
That's because you've taken your phone call and put it in everybody else's faces. I think if you were to step outside or into a hall, if you made a separate courteous space, like let me not answer this phone call right in the middle of a conversation I'm having with someone else in a room full of people who are talking to each other, whatever. I'm far less likely to interrupt somebody in front of a Walmart who clearly stepped out there to use the phone. What a minch compared to the dickheads walking up and down the aisles really loudly on their phone.
Yeah, you're right. That is nice.
They get to be interrupted because they're in my life. And if I'm on the phone in that sort of situation, absolutely. If I'm walking in front of you while you're browsing, you should tell me.
So that's the one end. And then the other end is like it feels like a wild imposition to just call somebody unscheduled to talk to them.
That is the thing.
That seems really rude to me now.
I, for some reason, not for some reason, but I'm always taken aback when it's a call that wasn't prompted by a text saying, I'm going to call you.
Yeah.
For some reason, I need that, like, to let me know that, because calls now seem like they're for emergencies. So if I'm getting a call from someone I haven't heard from in a while, definitely someone's dead.
Yeah.
Right.
And
it's too anxiety ridden. They're not casual anymore. That's the problem. Phone calls.
But not everybody's on this page because some people are like total. For some people, phone calls are the most casual. It's like, I'll just give you a call. Well, what?
And I tend to kind of catalog who those people are so that I cannot have the alarm bells go off when I see their name. Certain, aunts, my mom, my stepdad, they will not text. Or anyway, it's half and half. I don't have to be alarmed.
So yeah, I mean, not everybody's adjusted to this, but I just feel like I've noticed more and more people signing on to.
How did we get here?
I just wanted to bring it up.
Oh.
I wanted to hear from the listeners. What do you guys think? Also, is when did people turn against phone calls? Have they turned against phone calls, or am I just biased by my own life?
No, it's like saying, when did people turn on writing letters? Yeah, for sure. It's because it feels like an emergency. When we get something in the mail, it's definitely because something bad is going on, like debt or like a summons or jury duty.
Yeah.
You're right. So if I'm going to write a letter to you, if you got a letter from me, wouldn't you think it was for a divorce?
Yeah, of course.
Right.
Or something very, very important.
It's something insane. Right. So
at the behest of my therapist, I've decided to address a few issues with you. Like, yeah, that's not going to be good.
Right. So
once
something more convenient comes along, if you make the decision to use the less convenient mode, it's usually for a reason less than casual.
But I will say this: last week I made a bunch of phone calls, took care of a bunch of shit. Phone calls still are very effective.
Yep, that's
They're
the point.
far more effective than text messages and emails.
Or like a chat service that's on a website.
Yeah.
No, that's exactly the point. It's because it's an extra hoop, and those people don't want to get a phone call either. Like, well, if this motherfucker's going to call, I'll bet he'll send me a letter. I don't want a goddamn letter.
But text messages, like, people can be doing other things while they do them and then ignore them for several hours. Like, you have a lot of excuses not to answer texts. A phone call, you've cornered somebody. Like, hey, deal with me right now.
Yeah.
And they have to. So the people who make phone calls, they've got it right. I'm just annoyed. Stop calling me.
Rude.
And then the ability for companies to change their phone number when they call you by like one number, so you can't block them. So you block the number, then they just call from a different number the next. But that I think that.
Yeah, but you're a blocking son of a bitch. I just
like,
memorize numbers that are bad.
I'm just saying. I think this also has contributed to people not answering strange numbers anymore.
Sure.
Because which has meant that you're probably going to miss important phone calls, like, "Hey, your daughter's dead.
Jesus.
Come get her." Not your daughter.
But we have to go anyone's daughter. None of that.
Daughters die.
Yeah, but just not right now.
Okay.
Thank you.
We haven't watched these movies in 2 weeks. I'm afraid to talk about them.
I know. Let's just do
Little
it.
Nicky. Little Nicky is a film from 2000. It was the first Adam Sandler movie made by his production company, Happy Madison. And it was a follow-up to Big Daddy, which was actually Adam Sandler's biggest movie. It was directed by Steven
It's
Brill.
also his daddiest.
This movie you're saying is his daddiest. You don't think
No, you said Big Daddy is his biggest, and I just took the other half of the title of the movie and added S to it.
Sorry.
It's okay.
I gotcha.
Keep going.
What do you think of Big Daddy?
Oh, it's one of my favorites of his, except for all the ones with Drew Barrymore, which are my most favorite.
Do you think it would hold up if we watched it today?
No.
I want to live with Sonny.
No, I think there's a lot of problematic things in there and characters.
Yeah. But when people now talk about Adam Sandler, they'll be like, "What the fuck happened to this guy?" Because he was at the peak of his powers in the 90s. So there's a narrative about Adam Sandler, and I'm going to lay it out for you like this.
Lay it on me.
There's the golden era of Sandler comedies that begins with Billy Madison. These are movies that he writes and stars in. So he's the auteur of these films. It starts with Billy Madison. You have Happy Gilmore. Then you go on to The Wedding Singer, to Waterboy. Wedding Singer and Waterboy are the first like really, really big mainstream hits.
And
Big Daddy
Wedding
is huge.
Singer is my number one.
And then I think the narrative is that Little Nicky kind of ended that run of great movies. My position is no, all of those movies suck. Except
but you
Little
haven't
Nicky.
seen The Wedding Singer.
Yes, I have. I've seen it many times.
Damn it.
Hope that you're glad with what you've done to me.
I don't need that.
So when I was a contrarian youngster, I would say actually Little Nicky's the good one.
It's complete garbage.
Little Nicky's not the one that ruined everything. Little Nicky's the one that got it right. Right? There was a period in my life where I was a big Adam Sandler fan, and then when I got into serious film, I turned on him like, oh, that's for babies and bros, and I'm into serious film.
Oh, I hate when you run into a baby bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was your experience with Adam Sandler in general and Little Nicky in particular?
I very much liked Happy Gilmore, Billy Madison. I liked his absurd ridiculousness. He was a member of my segment of SNL that I enjoyed. So
yeah.
So he's just another example of a person that I enjoyed in 5-minute bursts. Why not see him for 2 hours? And he did a pretty decent job. So I just kept on at it, mainly just regurgitating the best of and turning them into a little quote factory. But it's when he got into romantic comedy, and it's hard to say, is when I really, really liked him.
Did you like 50 First Dates?
Yes, very much.
What other romantic? Spanglish?
Well, The Wedding Singer.
But I mean, besides Wedding Singer.
Okay, those are the two. Those are the two that I really like.
And
I would say that Big Daddy was that. He's got a love interest.
In love with the kid.
Ew. I meant the girl.
You don't like when he does a voice, right?
I hate it.
You always prefer.
But I can stomach it. Waterboy, I let it happen, and then Billy Madison's got a voice.
And even when I liked Billy Madison, what I couldn't what I wanted was there's like one scene where he's talking to his dad and he suddenly drops the voice and just has a real voice.
Right.
And
I know exactly the moment you mean. And it made me want so much more of that.
I was always thinking, like, I just wish that you would acknowledge that you're playing a character and that this isn't actually how you talk, but there's nothing else
even
like
in
that
your
in the
movie world, this is not how you talk.
Yeah, because
you can't have it.
Even when he's alone in his bathtub, he's like, "Stop looking at me, Swan," and like it's so funny because he's a cartoon but
Feel the same way about Jim Carrey.
Yeah, I want Ace Ventura to drop the...
No, and there is a moment in Ace Ventura when he does, and it's in that moment that I fell in love with him.
When does he do that?
He makes a phone call and he says, "Melissa, it's Ace." That's it.
You saying that makes it sound like he's still doing him.
Well, it's hard to... Okay, then I just sound like this. "Melissa, it's Ace." See how stupid that sounds? I had to do a little something.
Well, you had a look on your face. It was very good Jim Carrey face.
Right, or it was Melissa, look. It was whatever. He's talking to Melissa. He'd call her saddlebags.
Melissa, it's Ace.
Yeah. He definitely says that, but
it's Ace.
But I don't know if that's when he was being serious. Anyway, it's a Melissa moment. Carry on.
Little Nicky was Adam Sandler. As I said, the first Happy Madison movie. He got a lot more power. He started this production company and starts to produce his own movies. Starts to produce movies by his friends like Rob Schneider. This is actually, like, this period, the early aughts, is actually his most, where he's at the height of his popularity. He has a run of movies that are really, really big. Anger Management, Longest Yard, Click, Grandma's Boy, I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry. Like, a lot of these are not well regarded among his fans, but, like, this period is when the Grown-Ups movies, when his movies are really, really making a lot of money. And then it all kind of crashes around 2011.
With what?
I think it was Jack and Jill, where he plays himself and he plays his fat sister, and Al Pacino is also running around there.
God.
And then a few years ago he moved to Netflix, and now he just makes direct to Netflix movies.
All right.
Okay, Little Nicky. The premise of Little Nicky is that Adam Sandler plays the son of the devil, the son of Satan. His name is Nicky. He's only called Little Nicky once, and it seems like a stretch that they ever call him that, but they needed a name for the movie. Okay, Little Nicky.
Also smaller by comparison to his two brothers.
Okay, but it's not like they're always saying, "Hey, Little Nicky."
No, it's more like, fine, I'm sick of defending titles to you, but I think
they needed a 2-word title. They couldn't just say Nicky.
Fine, okay, but also he's their little brother.
Nicky Satanica.
Right.
Nicky from hell. His dad is Harvey Keitel. Satan is Harvey Keitel. I think that when I was, 14, 15, I loved hell. I loved Satan. I still do.
Okay, that's so...
I love hell. I love the devil.
To think about it.
What do you mean?
Don't do that.
What are you saying?
Can we not do that on the podcast? Can you not say that you love hell and Satan and then just leave it there, and we're all supposed to figure out that you're not a Satanist?
I love hell and I love Satan. Who doesn't love hell?
The concept.
It's the best.
Thinking about it, reading about it is what you mean. God damn it.
Worshipping Satan.
Oh, Jesus.
Praising him.
Okay, thanks.
In his blessed...
That's delightful.
No, I mean, like...
Oh, really? Good.
It was a thing where, like, at the time, my mom said, "Don't listen to Slipknot. They worship the devil." And I was like, "Oh no, oh no, I still want to listen."
Right.
Like that sort of
thing.
thing.
Yeah, it was very taboo. Was.
But part of it was like getting more and more okay with saying, like, "Yeah, I like this movie about the devil. It's awesome." Okay. I wonder if I find it pretty silly that you're objecting to me saying I love the devil. But maybe that's why this movie wasn't a big hit, was kind of a bomb, is because people have a problem.
I don't think you have to love the devil to watch this movie, but all right.
No, but would feel a little iffy about going to a movie starring the son of the devil.
Right, because it seems
where the
like
devil isn't the bad guy.
It seems like it's a kid's movie, so yeah, it doesn't seem like the best parenting to bring or to allow your teenage impressionable son to go and watch a pro-Satan movie.
Yeah. Maybe.
All right. I don't know. Yeah, I don't... Shit, who knows? I feel like there's plenty of mainstream movies that deal with the idea of Satan.
Like what, though?
Well, like The Devil's Advocate.
Okay.
The end. Mainstream.
He's the bad guy in that movie.
That's true. But he's a push here. I mean, yeah, it's more just like a here's the family life of the person you think that might not have a family life. But it's not like he's a good guy. He's still Satan.
Well, right, but to in Satan's world, in Satan's underworld, he's the hero.
Yeah.
I had this. I was in.
That's true. He's
high
punishing Hitler over and over, and how can you not root for that?
Exactly.
Like, you never think about, oh, Satan is to keep track and look after all the bad people to make sure they're not having a happy ending. Why is it that people think he's bad? It sounds like he's doing a really important job.
Sure. When I was in high school, I was in an English class where we were talking about Paradise Lost, and this kid in the class said, Satan's kind of the hero of this story. He's the kind of the tragic hero of this story. Mm-hmm. And the teacher flipped out. You worship Satan?
What kind of class was this?
English.
In what school?
In a public high school.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's weird. I mean, that was just like a deep, critical thinking comment that kid made.
Sure.
That's a weird thing to do.
This kid was kind of a troll, but I don't think it was wrong.
Oh, okay. Well, but if he's got a past of trolling, then
yeah.
I can understand the teacher saying, "Not today, Timmy."
Yeah.
Whatever. Cool it, Janaya.
So, we start in hell. Little Nicky is his dad is retiring, or is supposed to retire and name a successor, and Adam Sandler has his two older brothers, Cassius and Adrian, played by Reese Fons and Tiny Lister, and but Harvey Keitel decides he's not going to retire. He's just going to keep being Satan. He's going to keep being the devil. He is Satan. The position is devil. His father is Rodney Dangerfield, who plays Lucifer. In this movie, they're different people. Satan and Lucifer are different. Anyway,
Satan's a job, not a person.
Anyway, I think this is a great idea for a movie.
Right, the concept could have definitely worked with a different.
This idea, especially if it were a TV show. I'd love a hell TV show. I'd love a devil TV show.
You think it's got enough legs?
I want the devil in the TV show. And we discussed this on the podcast that we accidentally deleted. Is who would play a great devil on Earth?
Devil on Earth.
Zach Woods from Silicon Valley.
He would play a great little Nicky.
He'd be a great Satan.
Wait, why would
he'd be a great little Nicky, but he'd be a great Satan too.
That's not what I said.
Okay, but I'm not saying he only has to do little Nicky. He can be the actual devil.
Wait, stop. Maybe we're talking past each other. I don't remember discussing that exactly. I thought we were trying to pick who could have been cast differently for this movie to have worked with a different, slightly different tone. And I picked Jared.
Okay.
Is that who you just said?
Yeah, Zach Woods.
Can you not hide people behind their actual names for me?
But I said Zach Woods, Jared from Silicon Valley.
Okay. Okay, yeah. So no one discussed that and agreed to that. I said this movie should have been redone with him as Little Nicky. Or a type like that. That would work. Okay, without a stupid fucking talking dog.
Right. Oh, no, but I just think he has the look and demeanor of like a conniving devil man.
Conniving, though, but I don't think so. I think
I'm not saying Jared is conniving, but this actor I think would do a good job of...
I know you don't think Jared's acting is conniving. I mean that I like the tone it doesn't matter.
I think this is a good argument. I think Little Nicky goes to Earth. Eats Popeye's chicken.
A lot.
Hangs out with a dog. Adam Sandler's buddies, who are always in his movies, are there.
Who bring nothing.
Some heavy metal references get made. The soundtrack was My 13-Year-Old Dreams Come True. You got Incubus,
which is not a song title.
And the Deftones on the same soundtrack, and Linkin
Within
Park,
3
and
minutes.
Power Man 5000 When Worlds Collide. So this was amazing. That's kind of it. It's a short movie. Revisiting it now, I thought this is a perfectly fine movie. This is a good idea for a movie. The beginning's pretty good. All the stuff without Adam Sandler is good. Like all the supporting characters are pretty good. Sandler himself doesn't bother me that much.
Yeah,
I just feel like there's a good idea here that somebody should do something with.
Yes,
that's my main takeaway. What's yours?
I was bored. All of his parts were annoying, and the voice never got better. Harvey Keitel was fine. Randomly Quentin Tarantino is in the movie.
Yeah, he is.
That's strange. I'd like to never see it again, please.
3, 4. everybody. Love bearing beams, love bearing beams.